We're still going strong.
Are we?
Be the reason
Are we still
we-
going strong?
Still going strong.
Still going strong. October Red with Frank Smith. We're at Matchroom. Press. It's been a bit of a confusing day, and because I've just been in Manchester with Queensbury, I almost had a slip then and called you Frank Warren.
I mean, I like Frank now, so I'll take it.
Yeah, you lot are best buddies now, aren't you?
Besties, you know.
But let's get back to Matchroom. We're in Birmingham. It's nice to see you back here. A warm welcome as always. Sonny Edwards, Galal, you're fine. We're seeing a different type of Sonny Edwards. You know, you did this to me last time. You started yawning. Do you remember after the fight? And you was like, "I'm really sorry." And I was like, "Am I boring you?" And you do
No,
the
you're
same
not.
thing.
I'm just constantly tired. He's yawning. See,
But
he's yawning.
But he's not on. He's not on tape.
I do apologise.
It's all right.
I don't think I was actually yawning.
You was. I could pull it up, and you was like, "Oh, I'm really
No,
sorry."
just then I don't think I was.
Yeah, you was. You was about to.
I didn't
I know-
know.
I know the
You
signs.
can't say I was about to when I didn't do it.
Listen, we're going to get slated, and they're going to say, "Get
Yeah,
straight
yeah.
to,
So let's get to the
minute
boxing.
3."
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, Birmingham and these two. Have you seen a different Sonny Edwards, or is it just me?
Yeah, like, I think he's got a lot of respect. I think he had a lot of respect for Bam though as well.
He was
But-
winding him up though, Frank.
Yeah. But I think this is probably different because he knows Galao well. Like he said, they spent so much time together, and not every fight needs spite and hate. You know, it's going to be a busy night on Saturday in the arena, and that shows that this is a fight people are interested in, and these are the kind of fights we need to make. You know, when you promote both guys, it's always a bit difficult because you've got a relationship with both of them. But at the end of the day, we don't really make a difference as to who wins. You know, the best man's going to get in there, the best man's going to win. It's irrelevant what we think. And our job is to make the best possible fights for the fighters we represent, and that's what this is. You know, and like I say again, it's what British boxing needs as well. These are the kind of fights we need to deliver for British boxing. And that's why you'll see the success of Saturday night. You know, the undercard's been a tremendous, you know, the numbers the guys have done on the undercard as well, tremendous. And it just shows that Birmingham has a huge future and something that we're excited by.
And that's what I like, the fact that Matchroom have ended it. We've had the Manchester show finishing off in Birmingham. And is this the tone that you're setting for the UK fights in 2025? I'm one of these that's an advocate for the British fights. Obviously, I'm patriotic. I'm from here, and albeit I love the fights that you're doing abroad, it's nice to see that maybe we're going to start to get some foundations built back here.
Yeah, look, it's always been important for us. It's always been an important market. You're consistently sort of challenging against new entries into the market, and the boxing business is hard. There's always new people in, you know, and you have to sort of keep going through all the madness. I think you see with Saturday night's show, you see with the show we did in Manchester with Jack Catterall against Regis Prograis, another brilliant main event there, a great undercard as well. You know, it's a focus for us. The UK will always be a focus for us. You know, we signed Pat Brown just a few days ago. You know, one of the standout stars from the Olympics, from the GB squad, someone that everyone wanted. You know, and it just shows that we are focused on the UK. We've never taken our eye off the ball of the UK, but the market changes. People come here, like things change, and you have to move with the times. You know, has there been a few less shows? Yes, but there's been a lot going on in Saudi. There's been fighters sort of dispersed amongst everything. But we know what we need to do in the UK, and we're excited about what 2025 is going to hold.
Would you say that this year's sort of been like a, one for a better word, a dry run, an apprenticeship on mixing the co-promotional work, the fights abroad, and sort of like maintaining the UK as well?
Yeah, look, but then I think we've also had some great nights. You know, look back at Josh Taylor, Jack Catterall as well. You know, that was an unbelievable show. You know, and we've had some bad luck as well. Fighters injured, fighters pulling out. You know, like boxing doesn't always go to plan, and it's quite easy to point at things and create narratives that suit. When actually, you know, if you go back to every situation, there's a response to everything. But I think I'm excited, like I say, for what 2025 has to hold. We've got some great domestic fights. You know, Crocker Donovan, I think we'll get that done. That's a brilliant fight. That's a great domestic fight, and that's going to be a tear-up. You know, and that's what we need to do. We need to deliver intriguing and entertaining fights for the fans, and that's what we're going to do.
Pat Brown then, you know, a signing you did intimate when we spoke last that Yeah, there's going to be some signings. We're going to announce. Obviously, Pat Brown campaigned at heavy.
Cruiser. Oh, it'll be
Yeah,
cruiserweight.
so
Sorry,
it's going to
yeah,
be a
yeah,
cruiserweight because you
yeah.
know me, I was fishing for
Yeah,
the
very,
heavyweights. There's still one that's loitering in the background. Delicious Orie. I know I've mentioned him before. Anything on him, or is that a potential? Or
We've had discussions with Delicious. We actually met with him around the AJ fight week, so back in the end of September. He's had discussions about the WWE as well.
so
Look,
that wasn't a joke.
no, he posted it himself as well.
I thought it was a joke.
No, he put it up himself. But he's a Delicious someone everyone's going to be interested in. But let's see what he chooses to do. Pat is a tremendous fighter. You know what I love about Pat actually, because you know by now I don't say I don't love boxing, but the hardcore element of 12 silky rounds of boxing skills. I don't think for the majority of hardcore of non-hardcore fans is what they want to see. People want to see absolute tear-ups and knockouts, and that is what you're going to get with Pat Brown. When he sat down in our office, he said, "I just love tear-ups," and I'm not saying the training team necessarily agree with that, but that's what people want to watch. That's what people are tuned in for. And I think the journey with Pat Brown is going to be something special. I wasn't there in Manchester the other day, but 350, 400 odd people turn up for his announcement. The nights in Manchester are going to be amazing. His debut is going to be sensational. We're going to take him all around the UK and also the US nights as well. Hopefully we can get a big night in Vegas with him.
I have heard rumours about Pat Brown that he is very good, that he has caused some damage during his amateur career. So, yeah, I think with that guy there, I think because obviously the casuals, we don't necessarily know who he is, but I think that he's going to cause a lot of trouble. And as a cruiserweight as well, obviously you've got Jai Opatai, but cruiserweight's not something that you guys would have necessarily focused on. I would have said it would have been heavyweights, but that's gone light now. So a cruiserweight fighter.
Yeah, look, I think he will go up to heavyweight in time, But, we've had cruiserweights over the years. We've got Jai Opatai, we've got Chev Clarks fighting for the European title.
Monte Carlo.
So, we've been involved in that business for a long time. Lawrence Okoli, obviously, we promoted him from his debut. So there's a number of fighters we've been involved in, and it's something that interests us. And there's going to be I'm just excited about the big nights to come.
What I wanted to ask you about, Frank, as well, because it seems as if, I think Queensbury have done the same thing. It's like you guys are like, I look at boxing like a pyramid, is where, and then you've got these subsidiaries that come out of it. Huge boxing. Talk to us about that, because that's sort of like Frank's got the Box Nation. He's putting on other cards. Some of his fighters are going on there, and now we've got Huge Boxing. Talk to us about those umbrella.
Yeah, like Huge is actually a company that Charlie Sims runs. He's a very close friend of mine. He wanted to promote a show. I told him, don't do it. I'm very honest. No, boxing's hard. Small hall boxing's bloody hard. Like, it takes a lot of work and a lot of investment. We're a big corporation. We can do show. We can take risks. It's hard when you're an individual putting on a show. But I think he's enjoyed the process. We got Matchroom fighters fighting on the card as well. But yeah, look, he's doing his own thing with that. I help him. I talk to him, but he's really doing his own thing, and I'm happy for him. I'm happy that he's giving it a go. He might lose all his hair. He's got a lot of hair at the minute. We might lose it.
Well, these days you can get transplants.
Yeah, we could send him off. We could send him off to Turkey and get that sorted.
Yeah, you could do all sorts of stuff these days. So, would you say that's like sort of easing a little bit of the balance, so just to keep some of your fighters active? Like I said, I've seen Frank Warren do it as well with the Box Nation. Got Warren Boxing. So, is that something?
I think I'm taking a bit of an approach now. Like we've got a lot of fighters signed to us. We're always under pressure to deliver big shows and big nights, right? And not every fighter wants that night. That they don't want every fight to be the toughest night, or they want to warm up, or they want to get ready fight. And I'm sort of taking more the view of now of I would rather put fighters on lower pressure shows in terms of away from the limelight, or to keep active or keep busy ahead of a big fight on our shows. I think we've got to create that and to keep fighters active. Because otherwise we don't want them sitting out waiting. But at the same time, we know we need to deliver great fights. And we're not stupid. We sit here and you have to look at some fight. Like a fighter who says, "Oh, I want an 8-rounder before I go back into that." It's really difficult for us to do that on the shows. I'm just being honest. Because people look at the cards and go, "Oh, that's a shit fight." But it's a balance of what people need. So I think that's something I'm looking at a lot more now with fighters. When we look at our obligations, saying, right, that would be better suited here, keeps them active, keeps them busy, and then sets them up for the big fight on our card later down the line.
Me being the shrewd person that I am, would you say that it's, and like I said, you can tell me that I'm wrong, would you say that it's actively targeting the small hall shows and potentially putting competition up against them? I know you said obviously huge boxing, it's Charlie Sims, it's not Matchroom, but there's a potential then, because they're sort of under your umbrella, whether you see it like that or not, that it's sort of like going to squeeze out potentially some of the smaller hall shows.
No, like we need small hall shows. There's so many fighters. So it's in no way meant to be done to squeeze out people. We need these promoters putting on shows. And without small hall promoters, you wouldn't see a number of the fighters you see here at the press conference tonight, for example. So it's in no way meant to do that. It's more just a fact of keeping fighters busy. There are so many fighters. Fighters want to fight so often. And that's really the balancing act. But we need small hall promoters because without them, we wouldn't have our business, is the truth. We wouldn't have the talent coming through.
I will ask you about Martin McCauley. I know he's not your fighter, but I know there was a potential that he was supposed to fight Ajit Kabayel. Ajit Kabayel pulled out. Obviously, he's got another direction to go in, and that direction seems to be coming into fruition. It's all rumourville at the moment. Potentially, he's going to be fighting Zili Zhang. I asked Gareth A. Davis this earlier. What would you suggest about building?
Mate. Can I have that pillow? No, I'm joking.
Oh. Well, he's
Thanks,
falling
mate.
asleep speaking to me anyway, so you might as well give him it.
7 p.m. press conferences.
Who does that?
Idea
Who
what
does that? It was a good crowd.
Two heavyweights are fighting in 3 months. Fucking hell.
Meow.
Oh, you don't worry about the weight. Look at you. It's very similar to me, to be fair. Martin McCauley.
Yeah, 'cause I know there's conversations about his value, this, that, and it sort of shuts a fighter out because it makes him seem a bit like a leper. So no one wants to touch him, Frank.
But he's not the first instance we've seen it where someone's so good but doesn't bring any. Like for some of these heavy, why would you fight him? So like if you have to, like if you're taking care of a fighter, so like I've managed this heavyweight here who's number 2, got a bit of a commercial profile, and could go and fight this guy and make a load of money, or could fight Martin McCauley who doesn't have the presence like that. But that's
frustrating though, Frank.
Yeah, but that's on him, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like as in,
Or his promoter.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that. But you know me, I've said a lot of things about promoters in the past. So I don't mean that in a way to talk down. But at the end of the day, that is what a promoter's job is to do: is make someone relevant and make someone needed. And when someone's so good, like Martin McCauley's a brilliant fighter. He had a great win against Jared Anderson, but he doesn't bring enough in a fight for you to go, I'll fight Martin McCauley. If we were representing someone. And that was it. I get it, but that's on him. That's the decisions he's made, So because I saw Billy Nelson, I think he said something about some of Eddie's comments, but Eddie's just telling the truth of, that's the way it is. And you have to push yourself then into a mandatory position where someone's got no choice but to fight you.
And there's a potential, I think it was FA Jagba.
Yeah, FA Jagba for the IBF.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
Any movement on Anthony Joshua at all? I know, obviously, he's not going to be fighting Daniel Dubois in the rematch, which I'm sure he wants to, but at the moment he can't. Any kind of roadmap for him at the moment?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the whole aim was that he'd be ready to get back in camp early part of next year. Hence why he wouldn't be ready for a February fight with Daniel Dubois. I think the obvious thing is now see what happens with the Fury fight, and go from there. He's been involved in massive fights the whole way throughout his career. He's never shied away from any challenge, and now is no different. So, and we as a team have got to do our job as well to make sure that anything he goes into, he's 100%, because this is also the most important fight of his career. This fight ahead of him. He's built his way back up, but he's not having a warm-up fight. He's just got to go straight back in there. He's 35 years old. He has to go straight back in there in the biggest fights, and that's what he wants.
The biggest fights, Matchroom, a household name. I spoke to Frank, and I think he said he's looking to put on about it's either between 20 and 25 fights in the UK. Obviously, they're merging now with DAZN. I can see some really good partnership work coming from the pair of you. When you look at potential UK fights, I'm doing it again, sorry, Frank, but when you look at potential UK fights, how many do you think you're going to put on in 2025?
Probably 16 to 20, something like that. And then 10 or so in the US, got 6 in Mexico, and then other bit. Probably we look to do between 35 to 40 shows a year globally. So that's the aim.
We love it. Listen, Frank, thank you so much for your time. Always a pleasure. And I'll catch up with you fight night.
See you Saturday.
People say I'm toxic, and honestly, I don't care.